Alright, how's it going everybody? My name is LC and today we are here with another Marvel Mystic Mayhem video. I'm just pumping these out, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. I gotta keep the game alive, okay? I gotta keep the hype alive. If I'm the only one that's gotta do it, then so let it be, alright? It'll be me. I will keep this game alive solely on my back until it releases globally. It's not gonna be easy, but I'll take on the challenge. Today we're gonna be doing a part 2 of the community feedback. I felt like there was a lot more said and there's a lot more to be, like discussed with the people who are watching right now, because again, it gets the community engaged with one another, and of course the devs, they take the feedback seriously, and who knows, if they watch these videos, then they might come across one of your comments and actually take them into consideration. So doing our best to keep the hype of the game alive, as well as engaging with the community even further. So with that being said, so the first suggestion is, please let us field more characters. 3 characters is so boring. I don't see anyone wanting to play this long term. With 3 characters, there isn't enough going on. Games only have 5 characters. Cheers. I know characters wasn't in there. That's an interesting take. I kind of see where this user is coming from, because when I first saw like Marvel Mystic Mayhem, and I knew it was like a turn-based thing, and I saw 3 characters, I was kind of like taken aback by it. I was like, oh, 3 characters, it's kind of iffy. I don't know how that's gonna work, but like over time I kind of grew to enjoy it and like kind of prefer it that way. But I do understand where this user is coming from. I don't think they should abandon the 3 character format, but I think maybe in some game modes you could, well, actually no, that's not really the case, because some game modes actually do have instances where you can put more characters in. So for example, the game of Conchu, that allows you to put in like at least 5 characters. I don't think it's 6, I think it's 5 characters on the battlefield. So technically you're not really stuck with 3 for the whole game. I think it's just that aspect of the game. But I see where this user is coming from. Maybe some other game modes, like maybe like a different kind of PvP or some other kind of boss mission, like again, like or if they ever do implement like like a world boss or guild boss, whatever the case may be, you can put more characters on the field, just so you can like spice things up within the gameplay side of things. Because again, I can see why 3 characters kind of would seem stale to some people. Here is the next suggestion. So please remove level restriction on story mode, or change the function of team levels. It is very restrictive while playing early game. I know it's important to not let players just finish the story in one day, but at the moment it's very draggy. At times, you're just stuck at a level and you can progress until the next day because you need daily mission and spending all the orbs to level up. I do agree on this part actually, because it kind of felt like it was just like hindering your progress in some instances. And to me, I was like, when I played the game anyway, I was like, I was stuck at a level, right? And like whichever level I'm at, I'm like, I can't get on to the next story because I'm stuck at this level. And again it feels very draggy, right? So like I see where this user is coming from, and I wonder how they, like, if they will ever change that, or like how they will approach it. Because again, I know they did change some things about the game in the second beta test, which I don't 100% agree with, but like I'm not totally against either. Here's the third one that I do think will spark a huge conversation within the community. Show Team XP rewards in Battle Bonanza, Treasure Hunt, and Rune Raid at Global Chat. Yeah, those 2 things, yeah, that's kind of like standard. But this is the one I've been actually waiting for, because like I want to know like I kind of understand why, but like I want to know the genuine reason as to why they did this like implemented this like mechanic, I guess. Remove Combat Simulator and give freely the auto win after unlocking 3 stars. The game doesn't need this kind of premium item. The orbs of Agamotto are already sufficient. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Before this beta test, the first beta test, and I guess the alpha test too, you didn't need combat simulators to to skip things, right? You just needed your energy. That was fine. I was cool with that, right? Because you didn't get a whole crap ton of energy, but it's not like you got like a little either, right? You got a decent amount. But having an item that you need to get in order to skip missions, I think that just makes things 10 times harder and like more complicated than it needs to be. Like, you don't have to do all that, in my opinion, right? I don't know. And I did see somewhere that if you pay, I think, for like a battle pass or something, like you get more combat simulators. I don't really like that, like, what's it called? What game has that? I think Injustice has that. Injustice 2, excuse me. Where like I don't play the game anymore, but like I remember when I used to play it, they had combat simulators or combat sims, and you have to use those to skip missions. The thing is, it would also take your energy too. It's like, why am I using both? Just use one or the other. Like, why make it complicated? It doesn't make any sense. I hated that. I don't like when games they just make things complicated and they don't have to be complicated, right? So yeah, just stick with the orbs or the energy. Like, you don't have to do combat simulations. If they generally work out for like the general public, then sure. But like to me personally, I don't see why you would need to have combat simulations in your game. Like especially in this game too, like where orbs are already like your main thing, you don't have to add like a whole wide variety of like currency and stuff like that, right? Like you have like a very basic kind of thing. You don't have to do all that. You know what I mean? But hey, only time will tell, right? Reduced expiration time to 8 hours. With too long a waiting time, the game will have fewer visits. The mode will lose its potential and become less addictive. I think with this, I agree and disagree because yes, 8 hours is a long time, but depending on who is playing, 8 hours can fly by like that. You know what I mean? Like depends on what you're doing in your day. But like if it's the average person who has like a lot of free time, then like sure, I get what you're saying. But I do think in terms of exploration, they should add like different levels or like different lengths, right? So like for like common-ish items, make it like 30 minutes to an hour, maybe less, who knows. For like let's say uncommon to rare, make it I don't know, hour to 3, and like for like rare like legendary, who let's just say make it like 4 to 8. You know what I mean? Like at least like incentivize it so that way it's like, oh, if I wait for this amount of period of time, I get better things, right? So if it's just like one like basic item, you have to wait for 8 hours for it for expedition. That's gonna take the fun out of things. I think like including again like rewards that are like higher in rating for like a longer period of time would be beneficial in my opinion. But again, it's iffy because I know some people don't really like that, but like again, it's iffy, right? And lastly, when resetting a highlight, don't showcase the returning highlight materials one by one. Uncomfortable, boring, and time loss. It's simple as that. Okay, here's our next suggestion. For highlights, especially paid deals where you choose the highlights, you need to be able to pick the class as well. $12.99 is too much to pay for a highlight that doesn't match the hero type you're buying for. Yeah, that makes sense. I did hear a lot of discourse and comments about the whole highlight conundrum in the game, because I'm pretty sure within the battle pass you buy the battle pass, you can get a battle pass, but like $12 for, well, again in euros, I think for Canadian that's like what, maybe 15, could be more. That's a lot for a highlight, and you can't pick a class either. I think for $12 you should be able to at least pick your class. That's, at least in my opinion, that should be bare minimum of things you should be able to get. Actually, you should get 2 highlights, not gonna lie, like, because don't get me wrong, like I know highlights are important, yes, but not all of them are good. You know what I mean? Not all of them are the same rarity, right? If you got like what, 2 rares, I think that's worth the 12 in my opinion, and you can pick your own like classes of which ones you want. Just 12 for one, like that, I don't see the vision there. I don't see it. Okay, the next suggestion. I think you have like 0 chance to spend dream gems on summoning, since progression is more important. Either increase the number of attainable keys or make the amount of refills more restrictive. I think you should be able to do at least half a rotation, 45 summons with keys per rate up character. Therefore, it feels like it's nearly impossible to summon for highlights simultaneously. Also, resetting pity with every new battlefields. But what? They reset the pity? Oh, that's something. Okay, we don't want to talk about that. You can also run banners simultaneously by adding the next banner 1 week after the current one, so you can decide what you are preferring to summon on. That's interesting. Wow. Okay, I didn't know that they reset the pity. Actually, I don't know how I feel about that, because on one hand, right, it's technically the same summon, but just for different characters, right? So it's like, oh, your pity should cross over, but it's like you never technically summoned on that summon before, right? So it's like, why would it transfer over? That's the thing that's getting like my mind kind of like not twisted, but like I can see why they wouldn't do that initially. But I do agree with what they're suggesting though, because you want to get these characters, but like again, your progression is way more important, and you don't really like want to waste your dream gems, right? So it's like you might as well just wait and just keep on waiting, right? So I get what they're trying to say, and I actually do agree with it for the most part. This next suggestion is pretty interesting. The game should be rewarding. We should be given materials or items that will help us improve as we do story missions, side missions, and we should earn summon materials, 1 at the end of each chapter or 10 when the chapter is completed. Now I do agree about like the game should be more rewarding, because if you look at other games like, you know, Solo Leveling and Rise, that game, I'm not gonna lie to you, one of the best free-to-play games out there. Like, I'm gonna keep it so real with you guys. That game is mad rewarding. It really is. Like, if you want to get like a free-to-play game, Solo Leveling and Rise is fantastic. Now, with like the whole story thing that this person's talking about, I get it, because I think the first chapter, if you get all the stars, I think you get Psylocke for free, which is good, right? She's a good character. And like maybe 2 dragon keys and like some dream gems, but after that, the rewards are kind of repetitive. It's not really the same thing to help you really progress. So maybe if they like, they could buff up the rewards, right? They could do that. Like increase the chapter rewards that you get, or like the star rating of rewards you get. Like if they increase the dream keys, like if you get, let's say out of 27 stars, I'm just you know, saying random numbers. Let's say you get, you know, another character and then like extra dream keys, you know what I mean? Because something to spice it up, you know, or like a different, or like a really good highlight, you know what I mean? If you reach further in the story, you should get, you know, better, you know, better resources for your characters, right? Or if this game ever decides to do a hard mode for the story, they could do that too. Get even better rewards and stuff like that, you know, just to really like buff up the rewards and like try to, you know, push out as much like I guess replayability as well as like incentives as they can. Okay, and here is the last suggestion. Regular events should be added to the game, daily, weekly, and monthly. We should be able to upgrade material summon tickets for them. This will allow us to spend more time in the game and not get bored. I'm kind of fixated on this other part. We should be able to get upgrade material summon tickets from them. Upgrade material. Oh, I think you forgot the comma, but upgrade material and then summon tickets from them. Yeah, I agree. I think that there should be like a limited story for like whenever a character comes out. Like let's say like, you know, let's say they do 2-3 star characters a month. Venom's your first one, and like I don't know, let's say Enchantress is your next. Venom has a limited story that goes on for 2 weeks. You do some challenges, yada yada ding dong. You do some challenges, get it over with, you get nice rewards, you know, either your summon keys, or you get highlights for that specific character, or I don't know, or like an artifact for that character as well. Things like that I think could really spice up the game, because limited time missions are really fun to do. Again, just depending on how the incentives are and like what you really gain from them. But I think if they go alongside releases of characters, that could really spice up the character reveal. You know what I mean? And then the same thing with Enchantress, right? If she comes out like a couple days after Venom, again, give her a limited time challenge too, you know, highlights, you know, artifacts, whatever the case may be, just to spice up the event that is going alongside her release, right? Again, just to make things a little more lively in the game. But yeah, honestly, I agree with this wholeheartedly. Like, this game, it needs more events. Like, don't get me wrong, it has things to do in terms of like content, like, you know, your boss missions, your challenges, your story, right? But like the events portion, you know what I mean? Like the limited time stuff, it's the thing that will get people engaged when like they're done all the like very static content, right? The content that isn't really moving too much, like, you know, your, I guess, some story missions. I mean, they can add more story missions, but you know what I mean, like it doesn't really move that much. You know, your story missions, your resource missions, things like that, right? Your trial of Khonshu's, like, again, it keeps the game fresh is what I'm trying to say. It just brings a new feeling to the game, like more things are added. So that about does it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what other feedback you guys have from the game as well. I know this is technically a late video, but again, like I said, I will keep this game and the hype around it alive, okay? I'm putting it on my back and I'm doing it. It's actually kind of hard, not gonna lie. Like, I need help. I need to collab with somebody. I know who, but like I need to do some collabs. I gotta get it out there. I have to. I will. I'll do it one day. But in the meantime, pray for your boy, because this is going to be a very bumpy Marvel Mystic Mayhem ride for the next few months. But also, I want to know, what characters would you like to see within the game, as well as what time frame do you guys think this game will release. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. My name is LC. Have an amazing day. God bless, and I'll catch you all in the next Marvel Mystic Mayhem video.